his hand touching the grey at his temple, and continuing down over the lined skin at the side of his face and neck. His hands, and the skill in them, those he was proud of. He dried the palms surreptitiously on his trousers. An elbow nudged him. He started and muttered, "I will." "Wilt thou, Mary, have this man to thy wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Or wilt thou obey him and serve him?" The Reverend Seymour Matthias was showing his years. His scrawny neck stuck out. The crosses on the ends of his stole shivered as he spoke. The stole's silken lightness bowed his shoulders. The church was full of whispers. William Savage began to calculate how many people had come to his wedding. The back of his neck tingled as he imagined them all staring at him. They would be snickering, too, at the idea of Mary Wilson obeying him, wondering why she'd said, "I will," where he'd found the nerve to ask her to. From the corner of his eye he examined Mary's firm profile, and, beyond her, the square angles of her father's face. Before bringing his daughter to the church, Mr. Wilson must have stood in front of a mirror and composed his features on the proper mould. He was a widower, and held the office of Agent to the Governor-General of India for the Kaimur and Mahadeo territories. An expression of stern, but not oppressive solemnity would therefore be expected of him at all times. So now his face was stern and solemn, but calm. It was not hypocrisy on his part, for calmness and unbending rigour were the props of his character. He had been angry about the marriage, but he had swallowed his anger. William admired and respected Mr. Wilson. Beyond him, the cavalry colonel's wife, who liked to regard herself as heaven-sent in place of Mary's dead mother, cried intermittently into a tiny lace handkerchief. Her happy whimpers mingled with the squabbles of the myna birds. A pencil of sunlight pierced the branches of the tree outside, leapt down through the high white glass, and touched Mary's hair. "I will." He looked full at her. Bright blue eyes, bright black hair, life and fire, and the touch of sunlight, and no sadness of years. He loved her, if he knew what love was. He wasn't sure of that. He must have been out of his mind when he proposed. And had she accepted only because she was young and foolish? But Mary wasn't a fool, because she was too recently out of England to know the difference between the men of promise and the others, between the race-horses and the cart-horses, between George Angelsmith, who was her father's assistant and would become a commissioner, and William Savage, who would not. That couldn't be it. Her father had explained all that to her in great detail, and more than once. She had told him so. He knew that George Angelsmith had wanted to marry her, but he, plodding Dobbin Savage, had got her. Her body, at any rate. He clenched his hands suddenly. He was damned well going to win all of her in time. Her heart and her mind. She had been different every time he met her, and for the past month that had been every day. Young, flighty girl, young, lovely girl, lovely, distant woman, loved, loving, wise, shy, bold. She'd bearded her father. He wished his mind worked faster, as fast as his hands on the carpenter's bench, for instance. By the time he caught up with this Mary who said, "I will," she would be someone else. They also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Surely this must be near the end. Whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair, and of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel. Old Matthias's voice was a thin trumpet. Surely he didn't want Mary to take off her clothes. The hidden man of the heart in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet